Oh, hi guys! Welcome back to another Stories of Kabul. Today, we're diving into one of the most heartbreaking yet beautiful friendships, Amir and Hassan. These two grew up like brothers, but it is not as simple as it seems. If you want to know more, let's find out together in this episode of Stories of Kabul. Oops, hi guys! Let me introduce Amir and Hassan to you guys. So Amir is the privileged Pashtun boy, and on the other hand, Hassan is his loyal Hazara friend and servant. Together, they were inseparable until life tore them apart. But one day, there is a harsh reality that society constantly reminds Amir that Hassan is just a Hazara boy. He's seen as a barrier, a servant in the eyes of many people in the society, including Amir's father. But it's a painful truth that Amir grapples with because he loves Hassan. Yet he's aware of the unspoken rules that dictate their lives. There's a warmth in his eyes, a loyalty that runs deeper than friendship. He admires Amir, not just as a friend, but as a brother. You can see it in the way he moves carefully, almost reverently, as if he is handling something precious. I'm gonna bring you guys to the most important tournament for Amir because winning does not mean just a trophy, but an approval from Amir's father, whereby he finally got a chance to earn his love and respect.
Yes! Finally! There it is! I found it! It's beautiful, blue like the sky. I did it! Amir will be proud. I kept my promise. And maybe this time, he will thank me.
Hassan finally found the kite.
Where is Hassan? He should be back by now. Did he get it? Of course he did. He said he would for me. But what's taking so long? Something's wrong. I can feel it.
Amir was searching for Hassan at all over the place, still couldn't find him.
That voice. ASSEF? What is he doing here? Wait, is that Hassan's voice too? No. No. No!
You're not running away now, Hazara boy. So you better give me that kite. Or I'm going to teach you a lesson.
Hassan got attacked by ASSEF. Amir continued searching for Hassan. He was really worried about him.
Oh yeah, this will teach you a good lesson.
He's on the ground. ASSEF is hurting him. Oh my god. He's not even fighting back. I have to do something. I have to stop this. But I can't. But I can't even move.
It's Asef and the other boys. They need this guy. But they also just want to hurt me. They always call me names. Hazara, servant, worthless. I could run, but I won't drop the kite. Not for them. I made a promise to Amir, and I need to keep the promise. So I will fight. I feel cold. Not just my body. Inside too. I'm holding the kite, but I lost something else. Amir didn't ask what happened, but I'm sure he knows. He didn't say anything, and I didn't either. I gave him the kite. I kept my word. He won. I lost. But I still kept my promise. And for you, Amir Aga, 1,000 times over.
he still handed me the kite.
After witnessing Hassan's harassment and choosing to remain silent, this is the point of betrayal from Amir to Hassan, particularly because of fear and because of the choice that he couldn't make or he could have made. Amir, on the other hand, is consumed by guilt. This guilt shapes his life, leading him to make choices that ultimately distance him from his true self and his loved one. As Amir returned to Afghanistan years later, he is faced with the opportunity to redeem himself by rescuing Hassan's son, Sohrab. This quest for redemption is not just about atoning for his past, it's about confronting his fears and taking responsibility for his actions. The theme of redemption highlights the idea that while we may make grave mistakes, it is never too late to seek for forgiveness and make amends. So here we can see that Amir's journey teaches us that true redemption requires courage, self-reflection, and the willingness to face the consequences of our own action. Another significant theme in the Kite Runner is the complexity of friendship and betrayal. Both of them, Amir and Hassan, has the bond that betrayed as deep and unwavering, yet it is marred by the societal divisions and personal insecurities. Amir's betrayal of Hassan during a pivotal moment not only shatters their friendship but also sets the stage for Amir's lifelong struggle with guilt. This theme explores how friendship can be tested by external pressure such as class division and cultural expectation. Hassan's unwavering loyalty sharply contrasts with Amir's moment of cowardice, illustrating the painful reality that sometimes those who we love the most can also be the ones hurt the deepest. This story somehow ultimately raised the questions about the nature of loyalty and the impact of betrayal on one relationship or friendship. The Kite Runner reminds us that true friendship requires honesty, courage, and the willingness to stand up for one another, even in the face of fear.
What happened in that alley wasn't just a turning point for the characters. It revealed deeper issues that define the Kite Runner. After reflecting on it, two powerful themes stood out to me: discrimination and the loss of innocence. For the discrimination, what really struck me was how Hassan, despite his loyalty, his kindness, and everything he gave, was still treated as less, not because of something he did, but because of something he couldn't control. Being a Hazara, from the beginning of the film, you can feel it, the way people speak to him, look at him, and even Amir, who calls him a friend, still sees him as someone beneath him. And in that alley, all of that hatred, prejudice exploded into something violent. Watching that made me feel deeply uncomfortable because, honestly, that kind of discrimination still happens today. Maybe not in the same way, but it is still there. I've seen people get judged because of how they look, where they come from, or how they speak. I have seen countless of my classmates excluded just for having a different accent or being from a different culture. Sometimes it's obvious, but other times it hides in silence. And it made me ask myself, what would I have done if I were me? Would I have spoken up or walked away? The question still lingers, and it made me realize that silence, especially in the face of injustice, is its own kind of a choice, and sometimes silence hurts the most. That moment in the alley also represents something else, the moment both Hassan and Amir lose their innocence. Hassan was always full of hope. He believed in loyalty, in friendship, in good in general. But after the assault, he comes back changed. He doesn't say anything, and that silence is heartbreaking. Because we know he lost something he will never get back. For Amir, the loss is different. He loses his innocence not from what happened, but from what he failed to do. He saw it, he knew, and still he said nothing. That guilt starts there and it never really goes away. It reminded me of something I have experienced, not nearly as dramatic, but still important. I once saw someone from my school being picked on, and they were being mocked for something they couldn't help, the way they spoke and the way they act. And I did nothing. I looked away, I told myself it wasn't my business, but later, I honestly couldn't stop thinking about it. And I still remember that moment, just like Amir, I realized that doing nothing sometimes can be just as harmful as doing the wrong thing. And this what makes Kite Runner such a powerful film. It doesn't just tell a story, it asks us a question. It makes us look inward. It makes us ask, what kind of person are you when no one's watching, when someone needs you? The theme of discrimination and loss of innocence are not just part of the story. They are part of real life. And watching this film made me realize how important it is to speak up, to protect others, and to never take someone's trust or innocence for granted. In the end, I think we all want to be someone who can say for you 1,000 times over and truly mean it.
One of the most heartbreaking yet powerful portrayals of loyalty in the Kite Runner is shown when Hassan refused to give up on the kite. Even though he is terrified, threatened, and eventually assaulted by ASSEF, Hassan chooses to protect the kite for Amir. Why? Because of loyalty. As Amir watches that scene from a corner without interfering, we can see how deeply loyal Hassan is, not for the sake of saving the kite only, but to Amir himself. He sees it as his duty to serve his friend, even if it costs him his dignity. The line "for you 1,000 times over" echoes throughout the novel, and the moment is where it all begins. It shows how loyalty, when one-sided, can be painful and tragic. Hassan's silence after the event further reflects his loyalty towards Amir. He never tells anyone what happened, not even to Amir. It's a loyalty built on love but also on social hierarchy as a Hazara. As a Hazara, he knows his position, and that makes his loyalty even more heartbreaking. For Amir, this scene marks as beginning of the lifelong guilt. He watches Hassan being assaulted, but he still chooses not to act. This silence is not just cowardice, but it is a betrayal, and that betrayal haunts him forever. He tries to erase his guilt by pushing Hassan away. He tries by framing him and by avoiding the truth. But the guilt does not go away. It grows. Years later, Amir gets a chance to redeem himself when Rahim Khan says there's a way to be good again. This leads Amir returns to Kabul to rescue Sohrab and take care of him. Sohrab is a Hassan's son. By saving Hassan's sons, Amir is not just helping a child, but he is finally facing the ghost of his past, where it is painful, messy, and not perfect, but it is redemption. So in the end, this one scene, the alleyway, becomes the root of the both guilt and the journey to redemption. It shows that even our darkest moment can lead to light if you are willing to face it again.
Hello everyone. In this vlog, we are going to talk about the themes that are in the movie The Kite Runner. First off, I'm going to talk about the themes of power and oppression. Power and oppression in this movie can be seen in a lot of things, but I'm going to talk about the alley scene, the scene where ASSEF attacked Hassan in the alley, which can be seen as a metaphor. What I mean by this is, during the attack, Hassan is trapped in a closed space, meaning that he has no escape. And the alley's claustrophobic nature mirrors Afghanistan's trapped populace under successive regimes of monarchs, the Soviets, and now the Taliban. Hassan, like many Hazaras, they have nowhere to run from this situation, and quite frankly, this is how they are oppressed by the powers of the regimes. Secondly, we are going to talk about the themes of complicity and moral failure, specifically through the eyes of Amir and his actions when Hassan was attacked. It is the psychology of a coward. What I mean by this is, Amir is influenced by his fear and selfishness, because he thought that he could stand and watch and stand up for Hassan the way he stood up for Amir, but he can also run. But in the end, he chose to run because in his mind, the kite and his Baba's loves is the thing that matters more to him. Secondly, it is the childish rationalization in which Amir convinces that Hassan is just a Hazara to himself. He convinces himself that Hassan is just another Hazara to undermine his guilt or to ease his guilt, and that replicates the societal prejudice that is happening in Afghanistan. So that's the themes for complicity and moral failure.